Hey everybody, I'm Mike Steele with Barbecue Champs Academy, and tonight we've got a great show lined up for you. Welcome to Barbecue Champs Academy Live. Tonight we will have Shawna Roppolo, the 2016 SCA World Points Champion runner-up and two-time Female Cooker of the Year. Incredible cook. She is one of our state grill masters here on Barbecue Champs Academy, and we are looking forward to an outstanding show tonight with this young female cooker that has just absolutely given the guys fits over the years. It is so good to have Shawna here and be part of this. And we're going to give everybody just a few minutes to come in. As you come in, please let us know that you're here. If you got any comments or anything like that, please make sure that you ask your questions to Shawna as we get this ball rolling tonight. I'm looking forward to this. I cannot wait to hear what Shawna has to say about cooking on the SCA amongst all the guys. So it's going to be a great show. While everybody's coming in and let us know that you're here once again, we certainly do want to thank all of our partners that help make this possible. I'm thankful for all the support that we are getting from our customers. Buying product from these guys. They've got some great products, quick shipping. Be Extreme Barbecue with Mr. Danny Helm. Papa Joe with Jason, Papa Joe Grilling Supplies. He was our newest partner. Also B&B Charcoal, Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Mr. Brian Crawford. We had him on here a couple weeks ago with his awesome Crawford's barbecue pit products and his Season All. Just won Best Rub on the Planet at the American Royal. My good friend, Mr. Craig Sherry at Texas Pepper Jelly. Certainly do appreciate him being on board with us. And also David at Gunnar Wilhelm Knives. I tell you what, if you missed that episode that we had with Gunnar Wilhelm about 3 or 4 weeks ago, you need to go back and take a look at that. It was very good, very educational when it comes to doing knives. All about the steel, the sharpening, all the different aspects of it. I learned a lot. I thought I knew a little bit about knives, and I have some knowledge, but man, after listening to David give the spiel on the knives, I would highly recommend you go back and listen to that show. Also, B&B Charcoal as well. Ed did an outstanding job explaining a lot of the different products that they have and how they're made. And man, after hearing him, I was already using those char logs, and after the show, I started implementing that more in my cook-offs. They are really amazing, and the way they're made is awesome. So we want to thank everybody that's partnered with us. We certainly do want to thank everybody that's taking the time out to come here on Barbecue Champ Academy Live for our live show. I see folks are steadily coming in. There's Mr. Frank. Frank, congratulations. I think on your second cook-off, you had a top 10 finish, so congratulations to you. We got more people continue to come. There's Mr. Terry Roan. There's Vanessa. Glad you're here. Hey, Andy, man, buddy, it was certainly great to see you this past weekend up in Maybank. Congratulations on all your calls. You did an amazing job and had an awesome call with that 5th place chicken as well. Miss Sandy, how are you doing? You know, Sandy, your name came across my mind 2 or 3 times today, and I was thinking, man, I'm telling you, it would be awesome to have you and Shawna on here at the same time. Sandy, I'm going to be reaching out to you, and I think we're going to have a girls' night out on Barbecue Champ Academy Live, where it's you and Shawna on here and talking about y'all competing against the boys in the SCA. So I may be reaching out to you. I think that's going to be really fun and exciting. Carl, good evening. Glad to have you here with us as well. As y'all come in, continue to let us know. If you have questions, once again, please let us know. We will try to get Shawna to answer any questions that you may have. I see Mr. Robbie Royal is on here. Robbie, great to have you on here. Yes, she does have an amazing class. I know that Robbie has bought Shawna's steak class, and he said it was one of the best steaks that he ever had. And I completely agree. It is very good. Girls versus the guys. Yes, that is exactly what I'm thinking. And you know what? If we have the girls on here like that, then the boys can't interrupt. So y'all have got the floor to yourself. You know, I got Shawna sitting in the green room here, and she's not hearing any of this. So without further ado, let me bring Shawna in real quick. And we will include her in on this conversation because she's going to probably want to have something to say about that as well. Hello, Miss Shawna. How are you
Hey,
doing?
hey, I'm great. How are you?
You know what? I got to talking, and I saw Sandy had popped on here, and she is on the show. And I told her, I said,
Awesome.
Sandy, I said, your name came across my mind a couple times today. And I was telling Shauna this right before we went on that I was like, man, how cool would it be to get you two on here at one time where y'all have the floor? Y'all just pipe the boys down and y'all get on here and have the floor. And I saw her just post right after that. And here's what she said. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
So
I
I
like it.
think I think we're
I
gonna
think
have to
we
work on
should.
that, Sandy. I'm definitely gonna give you and Shauna the floor, and here we go.
Yeah, I think
This
that
would
that
be
would be
another
a
one.
good one. Yep, that would
Yes,
be
get
fun.
girls versus the guys live. Barbecue champs. Oh, I think that would be good. I think it would be good. But, well, we'll just leave the boys out and let you girls have the floor. So
That's right. I don't know, Jason. He's wanting that competition, but us girls got it. So
that's
I don't know
exactly
what he's
right.
thinking.
Well, Shauna, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being one of my first filming classes for the State Grillers. I think you was one of my first ones. You and Alan Newton was the first ones that we went
Yeah,
live. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of Barbecue Champs Academy. You are a very
absolutely.
accomplished cooker without a doubt. You've got a lot of credentials. For those that don't know, Shawna Roppolo was the 2016 SCA World Points Champion runner up. And if I recall, Shauna, you did that in your very first full year of cooking, didn't you?
That's right. Yep. That was my first year. I cooked a couple in 2015, but 16 was the first full
Full
year
year.
and ran for points.
And
Yep.
ran for points. I tell you
Yeah.
what, that is quite accomplishment right off the
That's
get go to
a good year.
go up against the boys and do that. Also, you may not know, but she is also a two-time SCA Female Cooker of the Year. I mean, she has got a resume in the SCA. Boy, that's sounding good right there. We need to patent that. That is long and deep and has a lot of the boys, I'm sure, shaking in their boots when she shows up. So, but yeah, Shauna, it is really good to have you here, and I know you've won a lot of
Well,
big competitions. We'll talk a little bit
yeah.
about those as we get in the show. Anything that you want to
Yep.
say?
Well, no, I just want to thank you for having me on the show, obviously, and thanks for the Barbecue Champs Academy. That was such a great opportunity to show something that I love to do. I love to cook, but I love to teach as well, uh, the steaks. So being
Right.
able to do that and be one of the first out there, and along with being the female, that seems to be the topic of conversation. So
Yes.
it's a lot of fun, and it's great to be out there. But I appreciate you having me on the show tonight, and I think we'll have a good time.
I think we're going to have a great time. Them boys are probably going, holy cow, what is he going to say? Oh, guys, trust me, I will grill y'all all I can. So,
And we gotta have
anyway,
fun.
heck yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. So, let's see who else is on here. Well, there's Mr. Danny, there's Mr. Michael, and Mr. Oh, looky who it is, Mr. John Lindsay. Hello, Mr. John. We're glad to have you on here as well. So, well, Shauna, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got in to this state competition stuff, because SCA started what, 2013, 2014, and then
2014 was SCA's first year, and then my family started cooking 2014. We saw that July 4th at our Shreveport cook-off that there was a cook going on. We were clueless. All we knew is we liked to cook backyard steaks. So we signed up, went down there and started and fell in love with the sport. I wasn't cooking at the time, but in 2015, my father, he got sick and at a cook-off and got put in the hospital.
ooh,
So he was in the hospital for a week over in Denton, and I was in there with him, sitting in the hospital room, and we were talking about cook-offs, and He had signed up for two more the next 2 weeks already, but he wasn't going to be able to go. And so I said, well, I guess I can go, I'll cook for you. I never cooked a steak. I had watched, I had timed, I knew the concept of it and how to do it, but I had never actually done it. So sitting in the hospital room, I said, well, I'll do it. So I went back home. I cooked, I believe, one steak that week just to try. Didn't know what I
Right.
was doing. Cooked one steak, came up with my own rub. I opened the cabinets and I said, I can't just go with just some rub off of the, out of the counter, off the
Right.
counter. So I started mixing and made my own rub, which I used for a year and a half, and that's what I used for my whole 2016 year. But so, anyways, we got ready, and our first cook-off was in Tulsa in September of 2015, and I walked in ninth place.
At
And
your first
then
competition?
at my first competition, I was
Wow.
I was ninth place. So of course I like everyone knows, if you when you do well, you're pretty much hooked.
Yep.
So yep, I was ninth, and then the very next week was or week or two, I can't remember, was the Possum Kingdom cook off, which is an awesome cook off. So which is one coming up. They used to have two every year, but this was the one in September. Very fun cook off. But anyway, so that was September the next week, and I go and I cook there, and I walked second.
Oh my goodness.
So at that point, I created my team, and I qualified for the finals after two cook-offs of cooking.
Wow. Ninth place and
So
second place at your first two cook-offs ever.
yep, that
Wow.
was it. So of course I was hooked, and wanted to keep going. So we went to finals that year, which were at the end of October, and I actually placed 11th at the world that year. It
Oh
was a
my goodness.
three-way tie for 10th, and I was the one got booted out.
Oh
So
man.
first three or four comps, I did well, and obviously didn't want to. I wasn't turning back at that point.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in December of 2015, that was the start of the new season.
Right.
So we went out strong in December, and then went through the year of 2016 chasing points. And obviously that's a little different now than it was then chasing points, but it's still hard on you,
Right.
and it's a lot of cooks. So,
Right.
but yeah, so that is my story and how I got started. And little did my dad know that he was going to have a cooking partner / competitor when I started
uh,
cooking for him. So
I guess it started right off the get go. Dad, get out the way. I'm coming in.
yep,
So,
yeah,
and
but
make
no,
room for me. Thank you for the opportunity. So,
that's right. No, he's one of my biggest supporters, and
I bet.
um, that's we help each other, and it's great that we
Yeah.
cook together. It's something I
That
look
is,
forward to.
I can assure you, being a dad with one daughter as well. I don't know how many daughters he's got. He may have more
Just
than
me,
one. Just you. Well,
just me and
I
my
can,
brother.
I can assure you, he would be proud to the moon and back. So, well, I've got on here. You've had 53 top 10 calls in 98 competitions. That is truly remarkable that you've got that many calls. And I know you've had a lot going on the last year and getting into a house, and you hadn't got a chance to cook a whole lot in this last year, and you're trying to get things settled. Congratulations.
Yes,
Today's your 1 year anniversary on your new home. So,
yes, it
and I
is.
know you was able to get off this past weekend, and you hadn't cooked in months, and you get off, and you had what, a 10th place call, didn't you, over
Tenth
in
place.
Texas?
I hadn't cooked since June, and in
Wow.
June I walked fifth. That's
You
where
had
we
a fifth
cooked the.
place. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And you cooked a different steak. I
We
was
cooked New
surprised. You
York
cooked a New
strip.
York strip. I was like,
Yeah.
what are you cooking? It's a New York. I said, I thought SCA was all ribeye. You said, no, sometimes they throw a New York strip or something at us.
Yeah, I
And you had never cooked a New York
never
strip,
cooked
had you?
one. Never cooked one.
Jeez.
I grabbed a few that week prior to the contest and tried a few different things. Not know, it was all experiment. So
Oh,
went
my
in
goodness
and
gracious. I mean,
got fifth at that one in June. So
wow. 2 cook-offs, your last 2, a 5th and a 10th. Cooked a rib, a New York strip. Never had cooked a New York strip before. Never in SCA history I've even seen a New York strip in it. They throw that at you. She goes out, gets 3 or
yeah,
4 of them, cooks them, and then goes up and get 5th place. Guys and gals, if you want a good class, this one right here has got a great class at Barbecue Champs Academy. You can go to bbqchamps.com. You can go to right there. You can scroll right down on the homepage. Go to the Steak Grill Masters, and you'll see Shawna there. She's got her tell-all competition steak class, and he also did some amazing pork chops as well. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I'm just telling you, you're one of the best out there, Shawna, and you have the guys probably running scared 99% of the time that they're out there, because I've had to cook against some ladies. There's this girl named Miss Blue. And,
yes, absolutely. Great.
And when Rachel Blue shows up, I get a little like, okay, I'm fixing to get my butt kicked by a girl. I've got to step up my game. So,
well, do you know that Rachel is a real good friend of mine,
yeah.
And we'll probably talk about it, but my saying, the Silly Boys saying, actually came up. We created that in Monroe at a cook-off after Rachel and I were the only 2 girls out of our whole group that was there cooking that walked. So we're sitting in her camper just talking and about the night and how we cooked and everything, and sat there. I said, we need to come up. We've got to have something to separate us, and that is the night.
Well, go on and pull it out and let's see it.
I've got my new stickers today.
Let's see what we look at. Silly Boys.
Silly Boys.
Steaks are for girls. I love it.
That's it. So I have stickers if any of our females out there want a sticker. They're for our
that is hilarious.
Yeah, so that was created in, I believe, 17. I did that, and any cook-off you see, I'm gonna have that shirt on. I have lots of those shirts, but I wear that shirt with the saying at every cook-off, and it's just it's fun.
Well, Danny Hems calls you a beast, a great cook. So,
Danny, I love them and everybody at the Extreme. They are great people. Have great rubs.
Absolutely
they're
great
awesome.
people. Sandy said she loves it. We're going to definitely have to get Sandy one. And Sandy, every time you go out and you win, you just walk up and you just start handing them out.
That's right.
And
Sandy, I'll get you some stickers out to you.
Now, I'm going to show you something here, and I'm fixing to put it up on the screen. You ready for this?
All right, what you got?
I bought Shawna Joe's class and loved it. Absolutely first class. That was John Lindsay.
Look,
John Lindsay he actually bought your class the week before he came down here to film.
Really?
Yes, because he was like, I just want to make sure I do it right, and I want to know how the girl cooks. So...
Yes. I love it, John. I can't say enough good things about John. He's been such a good friend through the process. Just helpful with anything. He's great. So he's a great guy. So, and thanks for taking my class.
Yeah. Thanks for the support. Keep on going.
Yeah, that's right. So I know that he needed it, but
and you may have my class, and I'm going to still do my best to try to beat you, but that's all right. You may be walking up to him and have to hand him that ticket one day. So
That's right.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, Shawna, I tell you what, it is so awesome to have you on, and man, we got so many people. Jody Harris says you're a hero. John said, I learned a lot. Thank you. You know what? That says a lot, because John is a great cook. Terry, Matt,
awesome.
I mean, all these guys are just absolutely phenomenal. And
but that's what we're all cooks, but we all want to watch each other succeed and do well. We may compete against each other, but we're going to be just as happy that one of us walks over, ourself, because we know we could go up to them at any cook-off, and if we need something, they're going to give it to us. That's just part of the SCA family, as everyone calls it, because I can't tell you how many cook-offs. You can ask my dad and Chuck Evans that cooks with us. I'm probably going to need something at every cook-off
Yeah.
between us. I think I'm ever prepared every time, and then there's something
Something that you
that
forget.
I miss
Yeah.
always. But it's like that with every cooker that's out
Yeah.
there. We can always go up to each other. We show each other our steaks, and ask trimming advice or tying or whatever it may be.
Right.
There's not anybody that's not going to help you, and
Right.
and that's what's good. Even though you can take our classes and you learn all of that, but still, you come talk to us, and we're there to help. Like, I love teaching just
Right.
as much as I love cooking.
Right. Well, that is
So
phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Well, Alicia says not only a great cook, but a phenomenal person, one of the best out there. So,
yeah, Jason and Leisha, that's great people.
yeah.
Jason and I give each other a hard time quite a bit, but
Okay, so
but he's
since you brought up Jason's name and Jason's
that's probably Jason on there.
yeah, I got a
I can.
question. Here we
Oh
go.
gosh.
Here we go. Jason wants me to ask this question.
Oh
I
no.
want to know.
That kind of
I want to
scares
know
me.
why she put the speed bump in the way at the World Championship. Oh yeah, he said you was gonna get a kick out of this.
Yes, I don't think he'll ever let me live that down, and I won't let him live that down. Yeah, I don't know what got into us. I have to ask you. I think that was 2018 finals, that he was set up right by the sidewalk, and I don't know, we were going to turn in steaks, and somebody, I believe John Payne was sitting there too, walked in up and asked Jason if he wanted to race. So we all took off racing on the sidewalk, and none of us saw the electrical cords and the speed bump going across the sidewalk. And Jason ramps it like he's trying to, I don't know, ramp a bridge or something. So he ramps it, and if I told you my heart, I thought my heart was going to come out of my chest seeing him. I thought he was going to fall out of his chair. And
Now tell everybody now Jason's
oh
in a
my God.
wheelchair, okay?
Yes.
He's in a wheelchair and y'all are running and he's on his
We're,
wheel and hits the
it's
speed bump
motorized,
and
and he
flying.
flies. And I don't know
Oh
that I've been more
gosh.
scared watching him do that. um, but of course, we will never forget that.
Yeah,
That's probably where we talk about wheelchair racing all the time.
I guess. That is hilarious.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
goodness.
a
Well,
fun
Carolyn said
moment, but
you.
a scary one.
Oh yeah, I mean hey, that's what makes these competitions so great. It's the memories, and that's what I tell
Yep,
people all the time. I know the SCA family has got to be a lot like our barbecue family. I've got so many good friends that I cook with.
yeah.
Tim Wooldridge and Catfish. We call him Catfish.
Oh,
His name
yep,
is
yep.
Joshua and Damon
Yeah,
and Benji Lewis and Andy
yeah,
Abels and all these guys that we cook with each other all the time. And there's so many. Heck, there's probably a ton of them that I'm forgetting. But the Cartwrights. I know you probably know Gary
yep. Yeah.
Cartwright and all those guys. I mean, we're like family, and we get out, and we just have a great time with it.
It
And
is,
the
and that's what
SCA,
it's about. It wouldn't be fun. SCA is a lot bigger now, so
yeah,
and I don't, we back when it first started, you literally went to a cook off and knew every single person there, and we
right,
all went together.
right,
Um, and now it's getting a little bigger, but as it's growing, you've still got some of us that have been there the whole time who want to help everybody, if
right,
and want to see everybody do good. But and it's also what we're meeting new people,
yeah,
and that's the fun part about it as well. People are traveling a lot more, so we're meeting people from all over the country.
yeah,
But there's still, it's a good feeling when you pull up to a cook off and a lot of the people. You
a lot of people,
feel at home.
yeah,
You feel
yeah,
back to that family, as we all call it. So
yeah. Well, my question now is, what is it like as a woman competing against all the boys in the SCA?
well, that's a
I was sitting there
question.
thinking last night, what am I going to ask? And I was like, I got to know what it's like. I know what it's like. Let me just say this. I know what it's like as a guy when I've got the Rachel Blues and the Annas and Anna Bryce and
Well,
all those, and the girls are cooking, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I'm going to get my butt beat by a girl, So
so
it's a little tense sometimes, I got to bring my A game. So now let's put the roles on. Let's reverse it. What's it like for Miss Shawna
well,
Roppolo to show up at a state competition and going, yeah, okay.
that's it's so much fun. And again, we'll show these. That is how we feel. We have to. We have
Yeah,
to
there we
remind
go.
y'all.
Oh
That
God.
it is so much fun. I That's the thing. I think the difference. I don't believe. I know I'm not. I don't believe any of the girls. It's fun. So maybe your first cook off, is a little intimidating, but it's out there. So talking about the girls versus guys, I grew up such a tomboy. I have an older brother who's 7 years older than me, so of course, I wanted to play with all his friends, do everything he did. He taught me how to play baseball. He rode bulls, so I thought I needed to ride bulls. He did,
Oh
whatever
my
he did.
goodness.
So, yeah, so I was a
A
big
tomboy.
tomboy.
Yeah.
I played baseball with the boys up until I was 13. And my dad said, "Well, you better start playing softball if you're going to want to play in high school because you're not going to be able to play baseball." So I tried out. I did that. But yeah, I played baseball. I did everything with the guys. So coming into this, that mentality and that what guys can do, girls can do better is my philosophy on that. What I like to, so I don't want to be intimidated, and it's fun. So coming in there when all this came up, there weren't many girls.
Right.
When I first started cooking, it was me and one other girl, Vivian Bird, and then she doesn't cook as much anymore. So in about 16, that's when I was about the only one. Janet Baker came along, but there just wasn't many girls. So of
Right.
course the target was always on our back.
Right.
That, well, what are girls doing here? Not that anyone ever said anything about it. Everyone thought it was pretty neat that girls started cooking, but there
Right.
weren't very many of us. So we
Right.
had something to show. We had something to prove to everybody that this is not just a guy's game.
Yeah.
This is a woman's game, and we can do it just as good.
If
And we
not
hope to
better.
be better. We
If
hope to
not
be
better,
better.
go on and say it. Go on and say it.
And as a girl, it is kind of we like to know that we intimidate you men just a little bit.
Yeah. Let me get in the screen. Yeah, you sure do. And I'm sure all the guys are probably shaking their boots like, oh my gosh, she's here. I'm going to get my butt beat. So.
And that's you can ask. It makes me laugh too every time just talking about the cooking, and everybody cooks so differently. You can walk around at a cook-off, and some people start their fires 2 hours early. Some people start them an hour. Some are 30 minutes. And to
Okay.
watch everybody's different.
Yes.
Look.
Yeah, here he goes. Yeah, that's what you said, Dad. Here we go. Ask
That
when she
came
starts
up.
her fire. Long story. Sorry, Shauna. All right, let's hear it.
I figured I would get it from Danny. So I have, they call me the unconventional cooking style at a cook-off. I do like to walk around. I'm a little social butterfly at a cook-off. And I believe we were at Roanoke last year, and we're all sitting there, and all Danny and Terry and who I can't remember who all was sitting there. Richard was all there, and anyways, they started their fires, they're 2 hour, however long early, and I'm just sitting around, and they're like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you not starting?" And I said, "It's not time. I start like an hour before." And they just could not. I mean, they were like, I just don't understand what is going on. And then I was second place at that cook-off. And so they're like, okay, never mind. We're not going to mess with you anymore. Just do whatever you want to.
Did all of a sudden everybody start following you on how you light your grills up?
Right.
There must be something to this. She's kicking our butt and she's finished second place, and maybe we don't need to worry about her. And how are you doing that again? How are you starting that fire?
Yeah. So now it seems I've got stories with a lot of these cookers. I wonder who the next one will be that will
Oh
have
my
a story come
goodness.
up.
That is too
But
funny.
that's what it's fun. That's why cook-offs are always so much fun. So.
Well, Shawna, I will tell you, I think it is an absolute wonderful thing of what you have done for the SCA as a female cooker. In all seriousness, and you have paved the road from the very beginning when this thing got started to come out there and battle with the boys and prove that that the girls can cook just as good as the boys. You've proven yourself against some of the biggest and baddest guys that are out there, and you're a giant yourself, young lady. And I think there's a lot of people
I appreciate it.
that'll tell you that. So
I
it may be a
appreciate it.
men's world, but there's still some girls in it that rule, and she's got the sticker that says it. So
That's right. Well, when I started, that was first I started because I wanted to. I wanted to just learn the sport and
Right.
fell in love with the sport. But then, once that you start cooking and you love it and you want to teach everybody. So then it becomes kind of like you want to pave the way for other female cookers.
For the
You want to
Sandies
be
and-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be that person that people look to and say, oh, okay, I can do this. So then that was my mission, to want to get more females, from the girls cooking, kids' pork chops, up to all the wives and girlfriends and whoever, that you're already coming to cook-offs.
Right.
Jump in there with them. Have fun.
Right.
You know how to do it because you watch them at home. You watch at cook-offs. So I really wanted more females to get out there and enjoy the sport as well. And I think there's a lot more of us that are cooking. I haven't got to meet a lot of them because we're all spread over the whole United States. But I've cooked with Sandy a lot. I see Caroline Guy, excuse me, is on here. Her and Scott are great friends of mine, and she, cooks. And so there's a lot of people that are starting to cook. I love it even when they cook, once or twice, all the women, they don't have to cook all the time, but it's definitely been a mission that I want, that more girls start cooking, and especially the young ones, even more so of them, because that is our next generation that's coming up and cooking. And now that they've lowered the age of steaks to 13, that you can cook, in the adult division, I think that's wonderful. We're seeing that. I know Sydney Escobedo, Roland's daughter's starting to cook. Ben Blanton's daughter's starting to cook some. So there's some coming up, and that's exciting as well. So now I just hope I can get my daughter back cooking. She cooked when she was 4 and 5, and then she said she was done. So so I'm hoping she likes cooking. As most everyone probably knows, I cook one steak and turn it in. I don't cook a practice, which is another crazy thing that I do that everyone messes with me about. But Emma likes to cook my second steak all the time. So she knows how to cook it. She just doesn't want to do it in competition.
That is hilarious. It just goes to show how confident. I want all you guys to hear that. I want everybody to hear what she just said. Read my lips. I don't cook a practice steak. Think about that. I don't know of anybody that does that. I mean,
there's not too many. But funny thing that Jason is one. Him and I are the ones that discussed that, and he pushed me. Not pushed me. We discussed it, and he was the one that helped me decide that that's how I was going to try to cook. And that's what I do. And very. So now I will say in the New York strip in June, I did cook a practice
Okay, you
because I
did.
did not, I did. But other than that, I don't, I keep everything simple. Always go back to the basics.
Right.
I don't, something over the years when you go and you cook so much, you start seeing all these different things and um, different ways of cooking, and you start overthinking.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
when you overthink, you overdo, and it gets in your head a little bit. So um, I've always sat back when I start not doing as well, just go back to the basics,
Yep. Yep.
and don't overthink anything. Do what you know, do what you have learned, and you're going to do better that
Right.
way than sitting there thinking. And that's just
Take on it.
way,
Yeah.
my take on it, and not doing a second steak.
Yeah.
That's, not everybody can do that or wants to do that.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine. That's just my way of doing it for my personal, so I don't overthink.
Right. Well, you bring up something that Terry Rohn does. He talks about um, go back to the basics. I hear him say that a lot. Did we
Hmm.
lose? Did you lose your audio or not?
I think it keeps beeping at me, so
Okay, go ahead. We got
I'm
plenty of time.
trying to get me
But that's one of the
in
things that
here.
Terry says a lot. When things change, go back to the basics. Go back to the
That's right.
basics. I remember Terry saying that a lot in his class. And if you are comfortable enough that okay, I can go, I can light my grill. I'm the last minute. I don't have to have my stuff. That's you. Everybody else, like, you gonna go light you. I got it. Don't worry about it. I get
Right.
my grill grates. I've got my temperature. I'm gonna put that steak on. I know where I'm gonna temp it to. I don't have to do all this other stuff. And
Right.
you're gonna cook your steak the one time, and you're successful doing that. And it's all about what you practice and how you went about doing it, and that is what you're comfortable with, and you have been
It is.
successful with it. So,
Yeah. You
Ty
definitely
said
just have to do what you're
what you
comfortable
what
with.
you do. Yeah, Ty says he doesn't do it either, and
Yeah,
swing
I
for
think there's a few people out there, definitely we're probably minority for sure on that,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I haven't ever heard a whole lot of people actually doing
no,
it. Danny says
yeah,
keep it simple. It's just a steak.
that's
That's
right.
exactly what Terry said. Is a steak. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. And I think sometimes you can cook that practice steak. Well, it may need this and it may need that, and I don't know. And the grill grates, are they the same temperature, or do they act the same the second time when you throw another steak on? I don't know. I'm not a steak
Right.
cooker, so
Well, and that's,
uh,
just as a tip that I go by, that's
okay. Here we go. A pro tip. Here it is. The pro tip of the night.
can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I lost one ear. Um, so that's one of my biggest things is when you go to John.
I'm not that good.
So when I go, to pick out steaks, unless there's unless you're able to get two steaks that are almost identical in size,
And off the
in
same loin,
shape, in
and
the
on the same
same,
same
that's the
loin.
same loin. You what are you doing your practice steak for? At that point, in my opinion, you're doing it for flavor, for
Right.
taste. If you're not sure if it's what that piece of meat is going to do with your flavor, and
Right.
every piece of meat is different, it will taste
Right.
different,
Right.
but you can't really do in my opinion, for doneness, because they're not the same. Tryhards cook different than Spinalis steaks.
Right.
It's where they're going to look for doneness is different. On a try, they're going to get, most of the time they're going to be looking at two muscles, for that
Right.
doneness. So that's where it came from on that overthinking.
Right.
Unless I get two of the same steaks, and that
Right.
doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Two steaks that
that
come
you're
off the
able to
same
do that.
loin is probably. I tell you what, Shawna, that is, that right there is a pro tip. I mean, no two pieces of meat, and if they're off a different loin, there's no two steaks
Right.
that are going to cook exactly the same. And if
No,
you end up going on, okay, I need to do another 2 minutes on this steak because of this, because I don't like my doneness, and you cook another steak that's off another loin, you ain't gonna get the same results.
that's right.
And
Yeah.
I tell you what, that's quite the pro tip right there. So,
Yeah. That's just
um,
my
question
thought behind that.
question come up for Mike: do you prep both steaks?
Oh, well, Mike, what an interesting question. Yes, I do. Well, I can't say consistently. Most of the time, I do go ahead and prep both of them. I always trim, um, even if I know exactly, if I know the steak I'm going to turn in, no doubt, when I pick it, I still trim up both steaks. I
Okay.
still, tie them up. I mean, there's been a couple times that second steak is just, there's nothing you can do with it. So I don't, but yeah, like last weekend. I will trim both. I do everything. I prepare them identical. Because I do like to have, in case something does happen
Right.
with
Right.
that first steak, whatever may happen, I
Yeah.
still have that second one, and
Yeah.
I'll have time because of when I start cooking. I'll give myself enough time
Right. If
to
you
be able to
had
cook that
something.
second if something happens.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So
That's
I
awesome.
will definitely, a majority of the time I'm gonna prep both of them
Wow.
identical, and see mainly, and that's the trimming, which is really big, in my videos, and just what people have known. Like I take pride in the trimming, and
Right.
so what the steak looks like right now is going to look totally different when you get done trimming. So
Right.
if you've got two decent steaks, you better trim them both up. See, and you may change your mind
Right.
um, as to what,
Yeah.
last weekend. I kind of happened to me last weekend. I picked the steak that I would normally cook, and I get them back to the tent and start trimming, start filling them. And that other steak, the one that I would normally not choose to cook, was more tender from the get go before I did anything to it, and just trimmed up better, so I felt better turning in that steak.
Right.
And that happens sometimes. So that's why I think it's important to go ahead
To have
and
the other
trim
one
both.
ready.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So you
Yep.
got two things could happen. You could have something that's completely messed up when you go to trim it, and then at the same time you could have some kind of stupid blowout on the steak when you're actually cooking it.
That's
So,
right.
so
Yep.
yes,
It's
have your
all
other
things
one
to think
ready.
about. So that's the other thing, it's, I like to have that in my corner, to know that if I do mess up, I can always, cook another one.
Have another
Oh
one.
yeah, I
Yeah.
see. Matt said his second pick's sometimes better. That's
Yeah.
absolutely true. That's what happened this past weekend. I turned in my second steak.
Uh, Ken says, "I'm trying to pick your secrets. Watch out." I know all of them, Ken. We don't want her
They're
to give
gonna
too much away, but there
right.
you
They're gonna
go.
pick
So,
away.
anyway,
Yep.
well, I tell you what, we can say a lot, but I always say that the proof is always in the pudding. In our drag race and stuff, we used to say where the rubber meets the road.
Yep.
And to me, somebody that has had that many calls in 98 competitions, who has won some of the bigger competitions. You have winner of the NBBQA Rhinestone Cook-Off. You was also the winner of the PK Grill Shootout. You've also won the St. Jude Piggly Wiggly Steak Cook-Off. I think, if I recall, that's over in Spring Hill. I remember Alan
Yep.
Newton talking about that as such
Yeah.
a big
It
competition.
is. Yeah. Usually
And
about 80 teams.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
wore Alan out a time or two over there in that. So, and I mean, to me, that's kind of that is what it's about. We can
It
go
is.
in and take a look because
I
this
like
to
to,
me,
since you may be showing, because I like to show the on the rhinestone
let's see
competition.
if this is going to pull up. I don't know why that didn't pull up. So let's try that again. You there, Shawna?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that I think you've got that, but on the rhinestone competition. So that's where that cook-off started, as um, a competition between the barbecue guys versus the steak guys.
Right.
when Mama Shed and them did that, and it was always at the convention. So we said it was the low and slow versus hot and fast.
Right.
In the first 3 years, I believe those we can find those pictures, but
Yeah, I'm
the
trying
first
to for
3 years we did it, the low and slow guys won. Eric Hodson and Jimmy Shotwell and Kel Phelps until 2018 when I came in and I was the first stake to win, and then I was a female, so it was a great that was a great win, and got the great hat that Mama Shed, rhinestone hat that she makes every year. So
right. Well, I wished I could pull this up, but we are having some problems. My computer. Are you seeing the screen or not?
mm-mm.
It
I
just
did a
does.
second ago.
Yeah, for some reason it's well, let's see if it'll pull up now. For some reason it was lagging. I'll try it one more time. Let's see if this will pull up. There we go.
There it goes.
And let me go back up. So let's just run on back up here to the top and we'll kind of. All right, so that was your 10th place ranking. What was that in?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I lost my earbuds, so I'm just
Okay.
on the iPad now.
That's fine. Yeah, it still sounds good. So where was this at, Shawna?
So that was our finals of 18. So that was my second year at Female Cooker. I'm sorry, 17. So that was
Okay.
17. Female Cooker
Okay.
of the Year, and then 10th place in the overall
national.
points.
Okay, cool.
In 17.
All right, which one? Man, look at that. Trophy's taller than you are.
That's the Spring Hill Cook-Off. Yeah, everybody
Okay, so
joked that trophy is taller
bigger
than
than
I
you.
am.
Wow. All
Yeah,
right.
so that cook usually has about 75 to 80 teams.
Wow.
It's always a good cook-off, and it's close to home. So
Yeah, it's close
that's
to
nice.
home. I know B&B Charcoal is a big sponsor of yours.
Yeah, I was
so,
going to say,
so-
I can, B&B is a great sponsor, great charcoal, and as well as Papa Joe Grilling Supplies,
Right.
use their rubs, and Poncho and Lefty. They have been all great sponsors and have provided some amazing rubs, which has helped me so far this year, and I look forward to using them in the future for sure.
Okay. All right, this was the NBBQA. Was this the one that you?
That's it.
Okay.
That's in 18. So it was a double cook. On Friday night is the rhinestone.
Okay.
For the barbecue guys versus steak guys. And
Okay.
then on Saturday was just another cook, and I got 5th place in that cook.
Wow. And I see you're
day.
sporting that nice shirt that says "Silly Boys, Steaks are for
girl."
girl." I love
Right.
it.
And that day I made a green one because that was actually St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, that
that
is
day.
hilarious.
So I made
That
a
is
green one, but I will. I don't know that I've been to a cook-off that I haven't worn that shirt since I made them. So
that is too funny. And then this was at the awards that night.
yes, that was when I got the hats
You got
on
the
that
hat,
Friday night.
and I saw you got your
And that's-
golden too.
Yeah, if you ask, which I hadn't seen him in a while, but Danny Kennedy, he always tells me, he said, I have when I win, I have this yell that everyone recognizes.
That's funny.
So, he said, I heard you from the back coming up. I knew who it was as
That
soon
is
as I
so
heard
funny.
the yell.
That is awesome. And then there was the hat.
Yeah, so that year, Gunnar
2018.
Wilhelm gave us a knife and that cleaver, and then he took it. They took it and did all the engraving for me
Yeah.
and sent it back to me. So that was an awesome extra trophy as well.
Yeah, that is awesome. And that was the PK shootout.
That's the PK in Little Rock. So a year or two before, I had gotten 3rd at that cook-off and won a classic. A PK Classic, and then that year in 18, I won it, and they gave a 360. So
Wow.
that
is awesome.
Been a good cook-off.
And there's your classics that you cook on with your
Mm-hmm.
B&B charcoal. Well, I tell you right now, you are absolutely one accomplished cook. If anybody's got any questions for this lady, certainly put them out. Let's see Shawna, Joe, myself, and Terry were all looking at steaks when Terry Roan won in 2018. Great day, a lot of steaks to look at. Terry was on this game that day. Yep. Let's see.
Yeah.
That hat is my favorite trophy. I tell you what, when we was
That's
filming her class, if I recall, that
it
hat
was
was
that.
sitting right back here. And
Yeah.
that is something that she was definitely proud of. Caroline remembers when you won Spring Hill.
Yep, her and her
And
son Joseph were there.
yeah,
Yep.
the trophy in Spring Hill was taller than Shawna. And sure, you could tell in that video right there.
Yeah.
If anybody's got any questions for Shawna, certainly roll them out. We appreciate all the questions that we can get. We hope everybody's enjoying this show. Absolutely an amazing cook. And yeah, there we go. I said it, and here comes Matt right behind her. You're an absolute great cook. So, I mean, there's no denying it. You are accomplished, and once again,
Well,
if
it's a great sport and a great. I mean, it's so much fun. And like I say, I can't express it enough. Of how everyone treats each other. It is such a family. And there again, I love to teach just as much as I love to cook.
Right.
So anybody that comes to a cook-off, I met some people this weekend. And it's just good to meet them and whatever questions they have. And I've told everybody, I mean, we all learn from each other.
Right.
We go to a cook-off and can learn something new every time.
Right.
So nobody knows everything, and nobody, it's just
you're always learning.
It's a fluid sport, and
right.
You'll always learn something.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's great about it.
Well, if you want to get all the details, all the secrets, everything that she does is at bbqchamps.com. And you click on that, you scroll down about halfway down, and it shows the State Grill Masters, and there's Shawna right up at the top of the State Grill Masters. And you can click that.
It is a true tell-all.
Tell all. You left nothing behind.
Don't leave anything out. You can compare from that class to what coming out, to a cook-off,
and still cook it. Yep.
Still, it's going to be the same. So, and if you do the all access, it gets you the pork chops, and then to the Facebook page that you're able to ask questions at any point. So
yeah. And
that too, I love your concept behind the videos, because you are able to, once somebody purchases those, they're theirs forever.
Right.
You can take them to a cook-off. I've said that, before. They're on your phone. You log in, and if you have a question or don't remember something, it's right there at your fingertips. At any point. So I think that's a great tool to have once you purchase these videos.
Yeah, a lot of talk has been coming up since Barbecue Champs about in-person class and online, and everybody is now, after they have seen the way that we go about filming them, the questions that I ask you guys, and I know I catch you guys completely off guard, and I probably ask some questions like, well, I wasn't planning on answering nothing like,
right.
I will get it out of you. If you come on here, I told you it's going to be 100% tell all, because when we get done and we don't cut and edit. If you've ever bought our class, there's no cutting, there's no editing, we roll with it.
It's a true tell all.
It's a true tell all, and we're going to get the information out of them, and I think people are starting to realize I can learn more. I don't know how many reviews. You want to know how good they are? Go look at the reviews that we're getting on Barbecue Champs. When you go to the website, over to the right, there's a review tab, and I don't know, I had like 12 of them that's come across in the last, I don't know, week and a half, two weeks, and I was just running behind. I was like, man alive, and it's the same thing. These classes are great. I can do this, I can do that, and it's been really good.
It is great. And I think, too, with the steak, I know people have bought multiple classes.
Oh yeah.
And it's so, to think, if you're a first time cook or you're just getting started, our classes are essentially at the same price. And the steak class is all access is $20 more, I think, but you're paying for a cook off. To learn everything before you actually go to a cook-off. So the investment is amazing, that you're not wasting your money going to a cook-off and not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
So, and this is allowing for people, to buy different ones and learn from a few of us out there.
Yeah.
And then you find your way, what works for you.
Yeah.
And do what works for you, and you'll succeed and do well.
All right, so we got a couple questions, and I know we've only got about 5 minutes because she's on a sharp timeline. She's got to go pick her daughter up. So I'm just a quick, brief answer because I got about
Yeah.
2 or 3 questions here. So, all right, so Michael asked, what advice would you give to a brand new cooker? Just a simple, don't get too complicated because you don't want to blow their
No.
mind. So,
New advice, gosh, I mean, it really goes back to, keeping it simple. Don't try to learn too much at one time. Do something, get comfortable, learn to cook. I met Michael last weekend. Go to a cook off, learn. If you want to tweak something, tweak one thing at a time. Don't go in and change your flavor, change your how you're going to texture. You change one thing at a time, or that overthinking kicks in. So definitely keep it simple, but do what's comfortable for you, and only change one aspect at a time.
Only thing I can say is Michael, in my classes, and I think I'm not sure I don't know if he's ever bought any of our classes or not. I can't remember. So anyway, that always helps. Okay, another question real quick, and I don't know if you cook Spinalises. Or Tryhards. I think in the class you was a Spinalis girl. Do you pull a Tryhard at a higher temp than a wraparound Spinalis? So,
I mean, that's hard to say, like, just based on that. And the reason I'm saying that is because last weekend, I had a try and a Spinalis, and the Spinalis steak was actually more tender already. So typically, you would, it's just hard to tell. To me, it's based on that piece of meat, regardless of what it is, because of where you're temping in the loin for that doneness. You're not temping in the Spinalis or the hearts, know. So I always, make sure you always temp where you think, or where you're going to position your steak for them to cut it for the doneness.
Yeah.
That's just going to depend on the meat, but sometimes I think you could bring your temp up a little bit more.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We got a couple more minutes, Shawna.
That's
All
fine.
right. The $1 million question. All right, John. We asked this the last time with Matt. What's your thoughts on crowning a points champion? Limit cooks or not? We talked about that before. We don't want to get into it. She said, "I like it. Just let it just go roll." I don't know. We talked about that limit cook. Some people are for it. Some people are not. So
that is a
the $1 million loaded question, isn't it?
Loaded question tonight. So, quickly, as I had actually thought about this today, because I knew it had been a topic in the past. I don't know what the answer is on, doing this. I know there's getting to be so many cooks. I know people have commented on, it's hard for people to travel, and go that far, but it even crossed my mind. I don't know how it would work. It'd be more work on SCA, but about even splitting up the United States into regions, and having a points race within that region. Now, and if you choose to go to other regions, your points can count for that region that you're cooking in, but it would give everyone closer to home a chance at that points chase, and even have a points champion for each region that comes to the finals and has a bye into the final round, or there's different options. It is hard for cooks like me. Yeah, I chased points in 16, but there were so many more closer, and there weren't doubles, triples, quads. It was pretty much singles. That's at that point. Now I was gone. Like, we were gone from May until October every weekend, just like, these guys are now. Now it's year round. But, so I don't know. I think, I've thought about that
Yeah, you know
Putting it up. I don't
that's a
know.
great answer. And you know, Matt was talking about, okay, well, we had talked about maybe limit it to 35 or 40 cooks. Okay, you've got a little bit different. It's kind of what the IBCA, the International Barbecue Cooker that I cook in. There's 5 regions in Texas, plus I'm in Louisiana, so that's
Yeah.
considered out of state. And they have a top 5 that they give us awards. I've got to go get my award for
Right.
this year, and I finished first place in my out of state region. There's people that finished first place, top 5 in this region, this region, this region. That's a pretty that's
You
a pretty
could,
cool way
yeah,
to do it.
and then
So
bring those those champions together at
yeah,
finals, and if they whatever that prize is for them, but it gives everybody a chance to have some shot at winning some, at chasing those points, but not having to travel all over the country.
Right.
If they can't do it for whatever reason,
right.
a lot of us can't do that. So I don't know, that would be something, fun. And if you, like I said, if you choose to go to wherever, say New Jersey, and cook in one, then your points go to that one.
Right.
But
right.
it would help, it would get people more concentrated in their region.
Yeah.
And bring it back. And I still think some would travel just because
Oh
there's
yeah.
some
Well,
we
you
like
can
to
still
go
go.
to.
Yeah, you can still go. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Heck, you could win first place in this region. You can win first place in this region.
You could absolutely do anything you want, but it
Yeah.
would also give everyone else
It would level the
chance.
playing field some. Yeah, it
Yeah.
would. That may be a good way to do it. It still allows everybody to cook as many as they want. They can still get all the
Right.
points that they want.
Yep.
But you've got them per region, and it helps those people that are in between that one particular
Absolutely.
region. So, and it
Yeah.
may
I
not
think
be a
more
bad
would,
thing.
I think more would chase it. Honestly, at this, you're gonna see probably, kind of the same people, because there's a lot of people. Some can travel and some can't.
Right.
I think like I said, it would centralize. And even allow you not to have to travel so far.
Right,
If you
right.
want to chase points, you wouldn't have to go as far.
Yeah. All right. Matt says some regions have more cooks than other. Oh, boo! There you go again, throwing a monkey in the ranch.
Matt,
Well,
but that wouldn't matter because you're not against those other regions for
Yeah.
the points. You're only against. So it's okay if we have 100 here and up north only has 75. We're not competing against them. We're only
Right.
competing against the people that's cooking in our region. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
There's a lot to think about, but
there's a lot. That's the thing.
it is
Right now,
definitely getting bigger and something that could potentially
yeah, because as
be
it gets more
discussed.
widespread, it's going to get harder. So maybe you have
Harder.
different. Okay, here's my region. I can go concentrate. I can control that. I can go to enough
Right.
cook-offs, and I can win. And maybe you take the top 20 out of that, and the top 20 out of this, the top 20 out of this. You have 5 regions, and you got 100 people that go. I don't know how many y'all have. So
But no, at finals you've got about 300 teams.
Okay.
That go
So-
to finals, so you would be able to take your top, however
30
many,
or how many ever regions you got. So if you
Yep.
got, yeah,
and that's who goes to finals, and that would
Right.
help us to. You want to work hard to get in the top so many in your
Right.
region,
Yep.
so then you make it to world.
yeah, that makes it pretty nice.
Yep.
Well, Shawna, I don't want to hold you up any longer. I know you've got to leave here in just a few minutes. So it has been great having you on once again, guys and gals. If you're on here and you're looking for any cooking any of our cooking classes, they're all at barbecuechamps.com. Shawna's class is up. It's available. It is an awesome class. She's one of the top cookers there is in the SCA, and we appreciate her being part of Barbecue Champs. If you're ready to step up your game, she's a great cook to go to. If you've already got a couple, I know that Michael had said, yeah, he had already taken. He was asking you some questions, and if you're looking for another one, this is a solid one to have. Ty says, yeah, it would give us little guys a chance. I think it probably
agree.
would. I think it would help a lot of people. And I think that's something that needs to be considered. Just think about it. You have your own region. You can cook. You can do as many cook-offs as you want. And take the top 30 or 40 out of every
Each
region. But
region.
it gives everybody kind of levels that playing field. IBCA did that this year. And, used to, you cook 40 competitions, 45 competitions in a year. You was automatically assured you was going to win it or be in the top 10.
Right.
And I never had a chance. I can only cook 15 competitions a year. Just no way I can do anymore.
can do
And then
that.
last year, they said, okay, we're going to take 12 competitions. You can cook as many as you want. We're going to take your top 12 points. Man, you talk about leveling that playing field. And that points chase coming down at the end, holy cow. I mean, they were duking it out. So anyway, well, everybody's saying it is a great show having you on here. Absolutely. Sandy, I'm coming after you, girl. We're going to have to get you on here as well. We're going to let the girls keep teaming up on these guys and talk about it. I think it's something that we got to do. So, yes, great show. And remember, silly boys' steaks are for girls. I think we're going to close it out on that. We appreciate everybody being on here. Once again, Shawna, thank you so much for being on here. Thank you for being part of Barbecue Champs Academy. Until next week, guys and gals, we will see y'all at 7 o'clock, Lord willing, next Tuesday. And I think we're working to try to get Mr. Craig Cherry with Texas Pepper Jelly on here next week. That's the game plan. He's going to be a great show. I've enjoyed it. Have a lot of fun and smoke on.